utilize our level of focus, and we start to recognize what truly matters. And as we continue, let's get down to it. Is it about meditation? Is it about motivation? Is it about inspiration? If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. What does that mean? What does it mean to lose everything? What does it mean to build everything within yourself? And when can you humble yourself? When what challenges that come against you can bring you to you? What is it that if you did this thing every day, it would make you? And how can you get to that place inside of yourself where you're utilizing your level of focus, you're utilizing your level of being, yet you're utilizing your level of understanding? And it's when you're focused beyond that point, you're focused to that place, you're focused to those challenges, that you start to overcome your challenges. It's when you start to overcome the things that nobody else will do. It's when you start to get down with what nobody else can face off against, where inside of you has a purpose, it has a path, it has a mentality, and it's you. It's when you face off against those things that you start to overcome them. It's when you put yourself in the place where you start to matter by just being yourself. And it's when you focus to that place where your challenges no longer have the ability to stop you. Because all of us are going to have challenges. All of us are going to have things that are going to work against us. It's the simple things in life that give us the ability to focus. It's the simple things in life that give us the ability to manifest and to vibrate with positivity, to vibrate with the mentality, to vibrate with the being that you are, the human being inside. And I'm reminded of a time when I had everything. I mean, I had nothing, and yet inside I had everything. I'm reminded that you don't have to have the best tools, you don't have to have the best car, you don't have to have the best equipment. What happens when you use a shovel? What happens when you use a broken down van? What happens when all the challenges work against you and you still make it? You still make it work. I remember living in San Diego, and at a certain point, I was living in my van. I was doing meditation in the sauna in 24-hour fitness. I was sleeping in the 24-hour fitness parking lot. And I was at a place where I wanted nothing more than to just be myself. And I want you to strive to be you. I want you to see that you can be you. I want you to see that your challenges are something that you can overcome. That when you break down, when you have nothing, you have everything. That when things are not working in your favor, they are working. They're working for you. It's when you allow the process, the manifestation, to have its own place. And a lot of people don't give themselves that place. If I hadn't have tried to sleep in my van, if I had just given up, then I wouldn't have been able to make it through those challenges, to enjoy that time, to get to the place where you are you, where you truly are who you are inside. And every once in a while, I'm reminded of that. I'm reminded that when you have less, you have yourself, that it is that simple to be you, that it is that simple to face off against challenges, that what you have inside matters the most, that when you care about you, when you believe in you, when you start to see your challenges and you believe that you can overcome them, when you truly believe that for yourself, when that person inside of you starts to say that, what is this? What kind of focus, what kind of practice am I building? Do I, every single day, even when I was what people would consider homeless, even when I was homeless, I was meditating. Even when I was homeless, I was washing my clothes. Even when I was homeless, I was sleeping in my van. Even when I was homeless, I was brushing my teeth. And it's that side of that simplicity that reminds me. And so I'm starting to understand how people that have, lots of wealth will go homeless for a period of time. They'll put themselves in a place where they just get brought down to the things that matter. And that is that you matter. It's that the person inside of you matters. It's that when you have yourself, when you really have what matters, when you really care about what matters inside of you, it's you. It's that mere simplicity to be yourself. And a lot of us are robbed of that. We're robbed of our ability to be who we are on the inside. We're robbed of our ability to be honest, to start to vibrate on a level where other people are just not willing to go. And so what I did last night to remind myself is I went ahead and I slept in my van. And even though I have a place now, the reminder of that was great. It brought me back to a place where I felt a joy, where the ability to have nothing and at the same time have everything was. And I find joy in that. I find joy in the challenges that are facing off against it at any time. Like, I think a lot of people are looking just at this singular time. I think that they're thinking that, oh, just because it's a hard time right now, that they've never had a hard time. And that's just not true. It's just not true. You're going to have hard times. Things are going to work for you and things are going to work against you. It's getting into that process where you see the joy and the ability inside of the challenges, that you make a way even when there's no way that you can see a way. It's when you focus beyond the point and you see the possibility that you are endless, that you have a manifestation inside of yourself so great that when you give yourself the ability to just use the tools that you have, the blessings start coming your way. And so, and that's the thing. I was in a place where, here, let me go ahead and bring you on here. Let me see if I can get you in. It's with that, yeah. I mean, I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy when things aren't working. I enjoy when the universe starts to test. I enjoy the let's try to do this. Because if you never try, you'll never have the ability to succeed. If you never give yourself the challenges, you'll never have the place to get over them. If you never go through things, I would suggest at some point in everybody's life for them to have a place where they sit down and just simply be who they are inside. And it's inside of that place that we really do start to find ourselves. It's inside of that place that we start to see that we're worth it, that our challenges are not greater than who we are. It's inside of that place that I talk about focus. I talk about what it takes for you to start to build a pattern, to build a path, to build a journey of your own. And it's inside of your daily. It's about what you wake up and do every day. It's about who you want to be inside. It's about your internal drive. And I recognize that. And even though I don't have to sleep in my van, every once in a while it's a very special thing for me to be reminded that vibration is there. That without everything I still have myself. That I have a breath, that I have a life, that there is blessings in this world, this simplicity to be who we are inside. I think about the thousands and thousands of trips that I've done, the people that I've carried, the stories that they have, the people that, tomorrow they lose their home. Today they lost their job. I think about them. I think about how simple it would be if they would just become honest with themselves and search out the things that bring them towards the positivity inside of who they are. And good morning. One of my Periscope said good morning here, and I'm reminded that we are a part of this universe. I'm reminded that what matters is that you're going to be on your journey, that your challenges are going to come, that there are going to be people that are going to be for you even when you don't see people for you. That when you uplift other people from your own mentality, when your own ability is working for you, and it's other people that don't understand how you're still together. You know, I look back at, the 8 years that I was with somebody, that they ended up leaving me. I was married for 8 years. I was put into a position where we ultimately lost our apartment. We had to move into a hotel. We ended up living with a lady for almost a year. And then my wife went to Europe and did an internship. And as she went to Europe and did an internship, she left me. And so inside of that place, there's a lot of people that would just fall apart. That's not what it's about. It's about you finding you. It's about you becoming best friends with yourself. It's about you liberating you. And so, yeah, those kind of challenges come. Yes, I slept in my van for 2 months. Yes, I did meditation in a sauna. Yes, I washed my clothes every day. Yes, I had everything clean. Yes, I was in a place where everything came down to the simplicity. And the tools that I used, I want to share with you. I want you to be able to use them in your daily so you can see how simple life really is. And what it is that, we forget to become our own best friends. We forget to be honest with ourselves till we lose everything, till you have to care about yourself. I try to explain this to a lot of people that when you lose things, there's other things that fill their place. So because I had somebody that I'd cared for so long, I had neglected to care for myself. I had neglected to spend the time on myself. I had neglected the ability to manifest the universe that I wanted to build. What each of us have that ability inside of ourselves, but it's us that stop us from being able to do that. And so how did I start to build myself up? How did I get to the place where I started to put myself in the mentality where I was okay with the process? I was okay with the things that were working against me. And so how do you look through it? Where do you go to get there? And I started to sit down and I started to write down stuff every single day. And as I was washing my clothes, as I was wearing out my socks, as I was washing my shoes in the 24-hour fitness shower, as I was putting my clothes inside the short dryer, and I was keeping brand new clothes on every day. Every day I was in clean clothes. I was taking showers daily. I was washing myself every single day. I came down to the simplicity that we miss out on the simple things in life, like washing your own clothes. If you have a chance to wash your own clothes, take it. If you have a chance to have a challenge that you can make it through, do it. If you have things that are working against you, embrace it. Because when you do that for yourself, when you give that place inside of you where you have what matters, which is yourself, then it's not about what job you have or don't have. It's not about what places you go. It's what you do to be who you are inside. It's with your mentality. It's with your ability to sit in the car and listen to other positivity, even when everybody else is saying it's not going to work. Even when they're saying, how can you do that for yourself? How can you focus to that level? How can you get to that place inside of who you are where you're manifesting it? And I would sit in the car every day and I would talk my mind, because I wanted other people that were in that place. I wanted to help other people to overcome their challenges. I didn't want to just make it through myself. I wanted to understand what it was like for other people to go through those challenges, to be in that place, to have that kind of things, to have everyone in the world turn their back on you, and to still have yourself. And that is where I understood that becoming best friends with oneself, having communication with oneself, having understanding with oneself is. And it's inside of that that we start to see ourselves. And a lot of people, they misunderstand that as selfishness. It is not selfish to be who you are. It is not selfish for you to dream the dreams that you want to dream. It is not selfish for you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. What is selfish for you to not allow yourself to do that? It's selfish for you to not set down goals for yourself. It's selfish for you to not write stuff down. It's selfish for you to not put yourself in a place where you're allowing the things that are positive to move into your world. And it's inside of that that we find our reality. It's inside of that that we find ourselves. It's inside of that that we become who we truly are on the inside. It's not when everything is working for you. It's when you are your only competition. It's not when you're on top and you're not lifting people up. It's when you're on top and you're being nothing less than yourself. It's when you have nothing and you're still you. It's when your foundation starts to build, when you're using what you have, when you're using the things that you have, that you see the blessings that you have, and that they start to manifest them, and it's other people will start to see that, and they'll start to gauge that for themselves. And so ask yourself this question. Was the challenges that I'm sharing for you, was it worth it? The things that I went through, can they get you to a place where you start to become a reflection of motivation, where you can focus on your own life, where you can't blame the situation, you can see the blessings that you have, you can see the universe that you live in, that you can make the world that you want to make, that you can start to understand yourself, that you could start to get to the level where it isn't about this is good or this is bad, where it's universal, where what is positive is being manifested. And so I see that time as that place where by doing that, I got to understand what really matters. I got to embrace the challenges. I got to see that even when things are failing, they're still succeeding. I got to understand that hours and hours and hours of listening to positivity really works. Listening to motivation, putting yourself in a place where your vibration is at a level where you can inspire other people to become motivated to be themselves. And I saw it. I lived it. I manifested it. And I want you to see that reflection outwards for yourself. I want you to see that you are simply you, that you have what it takes, that you can face off against the things. Some of us might be facing off against our companions leaving us. Some of us might be facing off against our jobs being cut. Some of us might be facing off against the things. It's when you start to embrace your ability to focus on the positivity in your life that the simplicity of who you are manifests itself. And I've been doing videos for nearly a year. I've been working on a 501c3. I'm in the process of completing one of the first meditation churches. And I'm in a place where I want you to become uplifted. I want, if you're going through those challenges, I want you to hear what I'm saying. I want you to hear that you're worth it. I want you to recognize that your challenges aren't greater than you. I want you to see that who you are inside is a blessing. That the Most High God, and this isn't about good or bad, made you. He made the blessing that you are. I'm inspired to make the first Christian meditation church, because I want to help those people. I want you to be helped. I want you to see that you can do it. That, I want those people that their wife left them yesterday to hear this message. I want them to hear this message if they are homeless. I want them to hear this message if they're in a position and they are selling and they want to get to the place where they want to go. I want them to hear this message that I'm here talking about right now for themselves. I want them to put themselves into a place where it isn't versus somebody else. When I used to work for Chrysler and I was selling cars 50, 60 hours a week, I would always sell cars and I would drive on top of that 35 to 40 hours a week. Okay? There was a point I was sleeping in my van and I was working 70 hours a week. And it was inside of that place, okay? I was homeless, sleeping in my van, working 70 hours a week, delivering food in San Diego. I was reminded that this is not versus somebody else. And so when you stop comparing it to somebody else's position, you try to do the best at being you. You try to be who you are inside. You try to face off against the things that only you can. Are you going to say to yourself, well, that is good or bad? No, no, no. What you're going to look at is, how can I use what I have? How can I use the challenges that I face off against? How can I get to the place where I can make it through the things that nobody else can for me? And that's when I started to share it. And that's when I started to understand it. That's when I started to want to help people. I wanted to uplift other people when they were going through situations similar to that. Because you're worth it. I recognized as I was driving people around that self-love is self-understanding. That love is just a reflection of your level of knowledge. That love is just your level of understanding your being. It's the understanding of who you are inside. And it's not about the emotions. These are choices. It's about putting yourself in a place where positivity is attracted to you. It's about letting the things that happen for you happen in a process that you become a part of the process. And it's about allowing yourself to see the positivity in all challenges. And so, though such a simple thing as sleeping in a van reminds me of how beautiful life is. It reminds me that, I don't have to have the best car. I don't have to have the best job. What I have to have is oneself. That all the rest of those things in this universe come to the one who truly is themselves. Comes to the one who has the ability to be who they are inside. And under that understanding, under that place inside of you, I want you to focus to that place where what you study is yourself. I want you to study who you are. I want you to see that positivity move in your direction. I want you to see the positivity in your human being. And they fight for love. When do we fight for ourselves? When do we fight for who we are inside? You see many people that are in relationships. You see, they stay in these things because they love somebody. But yet they don't even ask that person how their day was today. They don't even know what they like or don't like. They go to jobs and work positions where they're not succeeding to be themselves. They take less than what they're worth. They take less than what they are. They take less than what they manifest. And then people who focus to that place, people who don't allow that to stop them, people who are going to continue to focus past the challenges that are willing to, do the things that nobody else will do, get to the places where nobody else can. And as I sit back looking at over 300 videos of the daily grind that I've put myself through, I'm reminded that what really matters is that we're a blessing. and that we need to focus on positivity, and that you can do it too. I would like to share this message to many people. I would know that even if I'm not brought to positions or jobs or places, that I want to help the professional. I want to help the broken. I want to help those people to understand themselves, to get to the place where it's ain't versus somebody else. It's you versus you. And to understand their energy, to really start to know who they are inside. And a lot of us, we love somebody more than we love ourselves. We are not honest with who we are inside. We do not face off against the challenges that we each have. We do not give ourselves that time to sleep in our van. In other words, not just a van. This might be our own room. This might be by ourselves. This might be in a place where, you are giving yourself that kind of time. And it's inside of that place where we have to allow everything to fall before us so we can lift ourselves back up. It's not till one becomes who they are that the universe yields. It's not till we're broken that we find who we truly are. And that is the reason why many monks, many monks, go to the places where they go. Is because it is what is inside that matters the most. And I look at these people that, they set up this room, they put these little cushions down, they put this teacher in front of them, like, for instance, Sadhguru. They'll put a Sadhguru photo or instructor when the greatest teacher is inside of you. The greatest teacher is inside of your challenges. The greatest teacher is inside of your being. It's inside of what you face off against, how you make it through your own challenges. It's inside of who you want to become. It's inside of what you want to do. It's inside of where you're going to go and how you're going to manifest it. And it's only when we're honest to ourselves to that level that the universe has the ability to yield its wealth in multiple ways. There are ways beyond money. There are ways beyond emotion. There is wonderful breaths that you have to take. There's oceans to walk. There's mountains to climb. There's valleys to go through. And the only way to get there is to walk or to hike or to swim or to even crawl. And if you don't give yourself the ability to do that, you'll never make it to the other side. And inside of that, we find ourselves when we do that, when we get to that place where it doesn't matter what's going on around us, because what's going on inside truly matters, is when the universe yields. In understanding of this is the blessing that we are on our journey. So as we focus to that place, start to understand what you are. Start to study you. Start to get to the place where your breath becomes your friend, where your being becomes you, where you become present inside of yourself, where you become your best student, you become your best teacher. You start to be honest with yourself to that level. And watch what the universe does. Watch how the universe works. Study yourself. If anything else, understand that your path is worth it, that your journey is worth it. That when you do this for you, when you truly give yourself that place, when you get down to those kinds of challenges, that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you are a blessing within this universe. And as I was driving and I was delivering food over and over, and I was meditating. I was in a place where I recognized that even words were blessings. That the process was to become the process, to be a part of it, to embrace that place. And as I was leaving places and I was picking up and I was delivering food and I was picking up people and I was working through hundreds and thousands of people, I started to recognize that I wanted to leave them with blessings. And so my words changed, my being changed, my vibration changed. I started to understand that being a part of the process was the way God wanted to use me. Being a part of the process was the understanding of those challenges. Being a part of the process was the understanding of who we are inside. Being a part of the process was the manifestation and the vibration that you are you. And that's when we start to study our challenges. When we start to study our mentality. When we start to become the student with our breath inside of ourselves. When we start to become a beautiful thing in this universe, when it doesn't have to live by everybody else's molds, that you can mold your own universe, that you can be who you are inside, that what you face off against isn't greater than who you are. And I know that there are drivers out there who need to hear this message. I know that there are mothers and fathers, and there are brothers and sisters, and husbands and wife that need to hear what I'm talking about. And I know that professional getting his butt kicked at work needs to hear this message. That when you focus on positivity, you can pick yourself back up. When you stop focusing on the good and bad, and you start focusing into what's positive in your life, positive in your vibration, positive in your being, you start to manifest things in your way that are meant for you. What a blessing it is for us to have those kinds of challenges, because they give you the ability to overcome them. And so without those challenges, you wouldn't be where you are right now. You wouldn't go through the things that you have. You wouldn't be able to get to the place where you want to go. So enjoy them. Enjoy those challenges that you face off against. Let them be the student in your path. Let yourself be the student in that journey. After all, life is a journey, isn't it? You are on your path, aren't you? You are going to go through your challenges. You're going to go to places where other people might not be able to go. And what matters the most is what's going on inside of you. So study that person. Get to that level of understanding. Get to that level of being where you heal inside of you. Where you are honest with yourself. Where you recognize that you are liberation to be you. It is a freedom to be who we are inside. To have handicaps, to have challenges. Each of us has challenges. It's the working through those challenges with a positive ability to learn from them that matters. It's the ability to give yourself that place where you have what it takes, where you are who you truly are on the inside, that opens up the knowledge inside of you, starts to purify you, starts to bring you out of slavery, starts to bring you to the place where you feel freedom, starts to give you the mentality. And I look at England and how before they gave the people the ability to read the Bible, they were all slaves. With knowledge, you're free. With knowledge, you're liberated. With knowledge, you start to have an understanding that you're worth it. You start to have an understanding that you can achieve it, that you can become it. And so as they sat and they started to read and they started to meditate, By the way, meditation is in the Bible more than 23 times. And so, as we give ourselves that place where we give ourselves to this process of being who we are, that our knowledge inside starts to open up. Our being starts to open up. We start to remember that we're worth it. We start to remember our challenges. We start to remember our understanding. We start to remember our being. We start to free those things that nobody else could do for us. And we can embrace those people on our journey and still be ourselves. But you got to be who you are inside. You got to see your beauty for you. And as you start to understand that, as that energy inside of you, that beautiful being that you are, those energies that are strong inside of you, those energies that aren't so strong inside of you are worked on, the person that you are opens up truly. The person that you are gives you the place that you are. And it's up to you to want that for you. Nobody else is going to want that for you. They're going to want that for themselves. You have to want that for you. It's up to you to see the people that are positive in your life. It's up to you to see the challenges that you face off against. It's up to you to manifest the understanding that your universe is worth it, that your being is worth it, that your purpose is worth it. Because you are your life. And that is true. You are a life. You breathe a breath. You have energy inside of yourself. Have you taken the time to sit down with that energy and to start to understand the lessons in the things that you've done, in the qualifications of your life? See, you are a teacher of your life. You are a teacher of your challenges. You are a teacher of your purpose. You are a teacher of your path. But it's until you become the student. It's like a student going into a classroom but wanting to be a teacher. How can a student be a teacher without studying? How can a student be a teacher without being focused on that subject? How can a teacher get to the place where they're the best at being who they are? And that's why it's not versus somebody else. It's you versus you. Every single day, 365 days a year, 50, 60, 80 years from now, you're still going to be who you are. You're going to wake up, you're going to go to bed. As long as you are on the face of the planet, you are going to have challenges. You are going to see things in certain ways. You're going to work through things in certain ways. You're going to focus to a level. And it's until you get inside of you and you start to create the level of knowledge of you can learn from you. And so that is beautiful to have those kind of challenges. And that's why fear moves out of the way to the one who's focused, the one who's honest with themselves. When they focus to that place where you are able to be yourself, that the people that are meant to be in your life and the ones that are meant to not be in your life move out of your way, because the positivity has the ability to be the thing that matters the most. The knowledge, the liberation inside of you is you. So, when do we give ourselves that place? When we understand that the simplicity, we're going to always be on our journey. That it's not about somebody needing to understand or not understand you. It's you understanding yourself that matters the most. And inside of that, you have to be honest with yourself to see your being, your beauty, your challenges as an ability for you to learn to be who you truly are. Think if everything was taken from you. Every single thing was taken from you. And you had to wake up today and there was nothing. Where would you be? What would you go through? What would you do? How would you do it? You know, that is the purpose of this journey, is to get to that place and appreciate everything that we have. So knowledge is liberation. It's freedom. It's understanding. It's inside of that that we get to the place where the connection is. It's inside of that connection where the place of discipline lays. It's inside of the discipline that creates a level of reflecting outwards as inspiration. So the center of you is inspiration. The center of your being is understanding. And inside of that light, which you are, is your inner light. So the simplicity of that is to just be yourself. Breathe your breath. Become your high. Become your world. Become your understanding. Become honest with yourself. What is positive in your life, what is moving you towards your journey, towards your path, towards your beauty, in your understanding of yourself. And in that, we see discipline. In that, we see the being that you are. We see the reflection that you have, that the Most High God can work with you and through you. And we get there by not allowing ourselves to become too complicated. By not allowing ourselves to not master our time. By allowing ourselves to master your time, things start moving in your direction. By allowing yourself to master your mentality, you're going to see great things happen around you. People will seek you out. They'll seek you out for advice. They'll seek you out for who you are. They'll seek you out for what you want to become. They'll seek you out for your being. They want you to be who you are inside. They start to embrace that. And those are the people that you should have around you. Those are the people that are going to be there when everything falls apart, when, people push you away, and they're still going to be there. When people tell you it's not possible, and they believe it's possible, that they believe in you. And it's inside of your own discipline to get there for yourself. It's inside of your own discipline to be who you are inside. It's inside of your own discipline to climb walls that, other people say are impossible. It's inside of your discipline for your mind to be liberated. It's inside of your discipline for your being to become a level of understanding of your path, your journey, that you are that you are centered inside of yourself, that you have what it takes, that you can achieve your dreams. And so I usually go for about an hour or so. However, I feel like this message is very special, and that keeping it on this lower page today is a blessing for you. And I want you to see for yourself. I want you to see your level of discipline as a universal inspiration. And I want you to become inspired to be yourself. Inspired to uplift other people, to be who they are. Inspired to see the beauty that your challenges can be overcome. That what you have inside is more beautiful than what's going on around you. That the outside is just a reflection. And I'll leave you with one story before I go. As I was inside the sauna, as I was meditating, I got to the place of reflection, of understanding that all pain, all emotion, all thoughts, all focuses have a vibration on your human being. And when we become present inside of ourselves, when we become who we are inside, when we get to that place of discipline, the body becomes clay to the mind. And as we allow that body to become clay to the mind, we free ourselves from many different things. I just want to leave you with that kind of blessing.